before anybody asks, no update on the quarterbacks, so get that out of there. Good. But Antoine Whitner is officially here and cleared and good to go. So obviously it was a long journey and process, but really proud of him and his perseverance. So he's with us now. So that's our final piece of that class. So everybody's on campus together. So really pleased with today. Had an off day yesterday and thought the guys came back with good focus, good energy, no sluggishness in them from the time away, but I thought they came back with a good mindset to get some good work in today. Went full pads and got a lot of good live goes in, especially on the goal line, and some a lot of good teamwork. So I thought it was a positive day. Just got to keep building them, stacking one on top of the other. Questions?
How is the energy maintained at this point? Because I know you get to the middle of camp, it can dip.
There's no doubt. I will say this. I think we got the boost was the new locker room. I think that came at the perfect time, to be able to have this is definitely the week where you kind of hit a wall, especially the freshmen. They're going through this for the first time, and you can kind of see it starts kind of, all the install kind of builds, and it gets a little bit confusing, and everybody's still barking at them, and then they're getting tired mentally and physically. So that's why we, positioned the Lake Day that we had yesterday at this time of the camp, so you can get them a chance to not just get a physical break, but just get them out of their dorm rooms, out of their apartments here that they are in every night, and get them in the hotel there on Lake Monroe and just have a nice relaxing day, just kind of hanging out, chilling with each other. And I also like the fact that they're together, they get all the meals they need to get, they get the hydration they need to get, our strength staffs with them the whole time. So that part's good. So I think that helps, to kind of push us through. And then, like I said, the locker room reveal Tuesday night was a big boost for the guys. They're fired up to be in there, and so now they're officially functioning out of that area. And so, but yeah, it's part of that camp where you got to push them. You got to push them through, and you got to help them, see the light, because there's not a lot of light yet, because there's still a lot of time left without, the end is not near yet. So I think it's a critical time. We cannot afford to miss a day to keep getting better, and that's why every rep is critical. And I just keep hounding our guys about that and preaching that to them, our coaches, our players, and I thought they responded well today. Sometimes you don't know how they're going to come back, and we do have some maturity to us, which showed today, I think, and their ability to have a really good practice.
Another player update question on Bedford. We saw him go down the other day.
Yeah, he was fine. He practiced every snap today that he was supposed to, so I was concerned. It ended up being one of those that looked worse than it was, and so he didn't have any limitations today on any reps at all, and I think the break came at the right time. It gave him a chance to get some rehab in, but it wasn't serious. Thankfully.
Coach, one of the defensive line, one of the biggest questions, just strictly because of inexperience, but how are those guys handling the fall camp and getting through the doldrums, but yet maintaining the level that you need them to maintain?
Well, I think we're making progress. I thought, when I looked at I haven't watched the film, but looking at the inside drill today, those windows, those creases are getting eliminated with proper technique and being in good run fits, and so those guys are a huge part of that during that period, and I thought that was a really good sign. And I think because there's so many of them, we do have a chance to rotate and keep them fresh, and there's a lot of competition, and all those young guys, they want to play, and they know that playing time is at a premium, and so I think that helps. It helps motivate them. They know they got to, the older guy, whoever's in has to know that there's somebody behind them that's trying to take their reps and get their spots. So I think that helps motivate, and I think we got several really highly motivated freshmen that want to play, and won't be able to play them all as much as I'm sure they want, but we will rotate several. So I think that helps. All those variables involved help keep them, growing and learning, moving forward.
Sampson is a guy that obviously was a big recruiting win for you guys, and he was here in the spring. I know he wasn't able to practice, but just how have you seen him kind of grow as he's been able to get in pads, as he's been able to really kind of get a lot of snaps underneath him, especially maybe as you do hold a guy like Stevie back, not wanting to put too much wear and tear on him through fall?
Yeah, it's actually been, I knew he's a good player, and we've known Sampson for many years, and then his team came to team camp and watched him kind of grow and develop. I really think he's really starting to take that next step. You come in as a freshman, especially since he got to come in here in January, and he's benefited from our strength staff. And the thing that impresses me about him is he's a very well-rounded back. He's extremely football smart. He gets the game. He picks things up quick. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, which is something I think he's really worked on the last couple of years. obviously his running is his strength, but his patience, balance, he's so strong. He doesn't look like a freshman. He really doesn't, both physically and nor how he runs the ball. And I think even just the way he picks things up, there's a lot, people, think there's just, hey, just hand the ball off and go get first downs and touchdowns, but there's a lot to it, especially on those third downs. And so I think that he's impressed me with his maturity and where he's at as a football player. That's a tribute to his high school that's prepared him well to be here at this level, and Coach Bless, Sarah Davon, and just their whole staff. And so I think that he came here well prepared, but he also came here really hungry, and there's no doubt. I mean, he gives us a great balance with Stevie to be able to balance out the reps and keep the hits off of him in practice, and then obviously he can carry over to the game. So, but I think that he's probably further along than I even thought he would be, because he did not practice in the spring. If he'd have practiced all spring, I might have felt a little different. But with getting himself physically squared away, he's ahead of schedule.
Needing really good line play on both sides of the ball. How would you look at it here in the first couple of weeks when those guys are going head to head? Has there been an advantage to either side, or are you getting to see a lot of
Yeah, it's hard to tell in some ways, but I would probably give the advantage to the offensive line, our first group, because of the maturity. Those three seniors make a big difference, and Caleb Jones is playing, at a high level, and I really think that group has a chance to really gel into a special group. So they have the edge and experience and overall just mass and power, but I think the D-line is improved a lot. I really do, and there's more good players there that we really are trying to bring along and give us depth, and I think that's a big part of it. And then to me, the biggest key, is going to be the twos and the next guys in on the O-line. That has to be. It has been. I mean, that's a big focus for us, and that will continue to be how well they come along and finding out who that next guy is in at each spot and how we would shuffle the deck when we need to. So we got to answer your question, I'd give the edge of the offense right now, but I've really seen a lot of improvement, especially from practice 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 when we had pads on, to practice 12 today. I think the D-line's really improved a lot.
Coach Hagan mentioned DeMarcus Elliott earlier in camp. Is he still showing a lot in terms of backup defensive lineman?
He's new. He just came in. Didn't even have the whole summer with us. So really, he's quick, and he gives us a year of experience. So he's not like he's right out of high school, and he's got some really good lower body strength. To be able to hold anchor in there. We're going to need it. We don't have a lot of mass on the defensive line. Those guys will get there eventually, but they're young. So, but he needs to step up, and he has. And they just got to keep learning. He still doesn't know everything, and even today, a couple of checks and fronts that we call, not getting lined up exactly right. But that's part of learning and growing. But he cares a whole bunch and has a high desire to want to be really good, and I love that about him.
Coach, did you
Kreider's
meet Kane at Ole Miss?
Before that, actually, when his dad and I coached together at Arkansas State, he wasn't on our staff, but that's where we met, and he'd come visit, and that's where we I introduced myself, to him, and then we did work together. So we went to Ole Miss, and he was one of our GAs there. So we worked side by side on that staff, and have been really close ever since.
Now, how did that relationship kind of develop there with his dad as the DC?
Yeah, I think anytime you have common interests, common philosophies, common, things that you share in life. It kind of draws you to those people on your staff. And so, our faith was a thing that drew us together. And then I think just, similar passion on defense. I knew what his goals were, and he wanted to be able to be a, coordinator one day on defense. And so you talk a lot of football together, and then talk a lot about life together. And you spend, all those hours in the office, you're side by side working together. So, I think that it's just a neat time to really, but you just like in any other profession, you gravitate to those that are more like you, in a lot of ways. And so he and I just have become really close with all that. And then he left us and went on to Eastern Illinois. And then, we probably, from a football perspective, probably talked more, because when you're working, it's a lot of, you're just maybe talking about what you're doing, but you're not necessarily, scheming things. And so, but once he went and became a coordinator at Eastern Illinois, that's when we really were bouncing ideas off each other back and forth. Hey, we did this, and what do you think about this? Hey, I tried this, well, I like this, and you might think about doing something like that. So, and then when he goes to South Alabama, it just kept growing, So, but so I would say we were close for sure before, but then, got even closer as time moved on.
Are there ways like Kane is a lot, you can tell he's Dave's son, or there's some
Oh
ways?
yeah, so I think in how you do things, because I've, even when I was coaching with a person who coached with my dad, they're like, hey, they saw things in me that he used to do. And I think the same thing in him. He's just such a detailed guy, the way he scripts everything and the way he thinks and the organizational part of it, which is a big piece in defense, is having a great plan and just to be able to, the way they talk, and I just think they have a lot of common mannerisms too. So, but just high quality people, people that care about their players and love what they do. They're passionate about, what they've been called to do. And I just think that he, you get it honest. He gets it from his dad, and he's, not just a great football coach. Dave Wommack's an awesome person.
Harry Kreider is a guy who's taking over a spot. Obviously, Wes Martin held down for quite some time. Just how have you seen him grow into that left guard spot, and in particular, as a guy who's maybe played in that kind of twos role for the last couple of years? How do you think he's making that transition up to being a regular?
Yeah, I think he has grown. And my challenge to him is to continue to be a more physical presence, on the line of scrimmage. And he's a powerful kid. In that weight room, he's one of our, he may be our heavy, strongest squatter we got, but to transfer that, and I see more of that explosive power that you saw Wes play with, so he had a great mentor in front of him, and he doesn't say, he don't hardly speak. I thought Wes was quiet, but Harry's even quieter, so he didn't say anything, but yeah, I'm good with that. He's just stay in your lane and do your job, So, but I just think it's just a matter of it's confidence. It's you're going with the ones now, and you're playing next to Coy, and you're right next to between Hunter and Coy, two seniors that have been there and done that and played a bunch of football. And so it's been good to see him rise up. I just want that's got to keep growing. He's still not where we want him to be at in terms of all the little things, and none of them are. But I'm really proud of the way he's responded. He needs to. We challenged he and Caleb to rise up and step into those voids that were left and do a great job. So Harry needs to keep getting better and recognizing pressures and picking up the movements. And our defense does a lot of stuff. They do a lot of things that are hard to handle sometimes, especially in the fall camp setting when it just keeps adding every day. And so I think it puts a lot of pressure on our offensive line, and it's actually, in some ways, it gets easier when you start preparing for a team that doesn't do all that stuff. So, but anyways, I think Harry's a guy that is a big part of our offensive line, and I expect him to just keep getting better.
Not sure how much you were updated on the progress of the locker room as it went, but when you saw it in totality the other night, anything jump out to you or surprise you?
Well, I was real involved from the very beginning with everything, and so, but I tell you, when it all comes together, and you see it in pieces, and you see it, I just think when I walked in there, because there were several days where they were putting the finishing touches on it, and then they kind of put everything. It's always, when this is and there's still a few things they're still going to be working on, but it just was, the lighting, the brightness, the crystal, just so sharp, the way it was configured, and the ceiling, when you walk in, it's just so big, and it's just, it's a wow, it really is. And it's, I've been in a lot of different ones over the years, and the locker room part of it, it's hard to find a better one, and it's got so much space for the guys, and just the size of it all, and you compare it to what we used to be in, and then what they were the last few months, So it's, but no, I just think that it's a really sharp, classy look that our guys are very proud of, and I know we're all proud of it as a staff and want to take great care of it. But yeah, no, it's a wow.
The recruiting has gone extraordinarily well the last couple of years for you. How can you use that as another tool to increase it and continue to elevate it?
There's no doubt. So what I did, right away, utilized all we got some recruits on FaceTime, as the players were doing the reveal, and they're running around yelling. So we got parents on FaceTime, we got recruits on FaceTime, and they're seeing it, kind of with us, which is cool. And did all that with those guys. And then the very next day, got some key pictures, sent it out to them, and then just sent a long text just talking about the investment, and it said the very thing. We've recruited at the highest level we've recruited at in the last couple of years. We're investing in football at the highest level that I've ever seen since I've been alive, into football in Indiana. And I said, this should show you, continue to prove to you what we're building here, and the commitment from our administration and what's happening, and challenge them to want to be part of it, So just trying to capitalize on everything that has in front of us. And so yeah, it's a huge recruiting tool for sure. And it's it's you still got to go out and play football, but there's no doubt that they notice the bells and whistles and the things that because it just shows you that football is important.
He's still, he's in here listening, so I guess you gotta be careful, but does he still have it as a coach? Have him on the field?
Well, he's been doing a lot of fishing lately, so he may not be as sharp as he was before, but no, oh yeah. So we got him here to watch his practice, and we had to get him up early though. He had an early staff meeting that he wasn't used to being at this time of year. So, but no, he's good. You don't ever lose it. My dad's the same way. He's 82, and he's always telling me a thing or two I need to work on. So, but no, we got Dave here for, obviously his son's here, but going to watch us for several days and give us some quality control, thoughts about what we can do to get better. So glad he's here.
Procedural question, but where were the guys kind of dressing?
The visitor locker room.
Okay.
Have you ever been in there?
No.
Yeah, no, good. It's the new one's a lot nicer. I'll leave it at that.
How much of an emphasis is there going to be on keeping that thing clean?
Oh, huge. Remember, practically at the end of practice, what we talked about, So, but it's, hey, it's a new facility. It looks awesome, but now you got to take care of it. It's part of being a pro, taking care of what you have.
Are you scrimmaging this weekend?
Yeah, on Saturday. Yeah.
And what are you hoping most to get out of that?
Well, it's going to be our last one. So that's we call it preseason game number 2. Preseason game number 3 is a mock game, which is in Spider, so it's no hitting. It's all situational emphasis. So this is really the last time to really go live. Last time to really, game setting situations. You want to move the ball a lot. That's number 1. I want to get a lot of good red zone work, and then we'll probably put the ball in the 25 and just drive it, and then whatever isn't creative enough, we don't get enough inside the 5, we'll just put the ball down there. We don't get enough inside the 10, we'll put the ball down there afterwards. But so that would be big, and then some 2-minute drills with the officials there. We want to do those, and 4-minute as well. So we kind of got some specific things to focus on.
How critical is that going to be in going into making your determination for you?
It's kind of will be one of the final evaluation pieces for sure. May not be the final one, but it's going to be big, yes.